very beginning in Krishna consciousness under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. That is the way to make everything successful. In the conditional state, people are attracted to worshipping demigods, ghosts, or yakshas like Kuvera. The mode of goodness is better than the mode of passion and ignorance, but one who takes directly to Krishna consciousness is transcendental to all three modes of material nature. Although there's a process of gradual elevation, if one, by the association of pure devotees, takes directly to Krishna consciousness, that is the best way, and that is recommended in this chapter. To achieve success in this way, one must first find the proper spiritual master and receive training under his direction. Then one can achieve faith in the Supreme. When that faith matures, in course of time, it is called love of God. This love is the ultimate goal of the living entities. One should therefore take to Krishna consciousness directly. That is the message of this 17th chapter. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 17th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita in the matter of the division of faith. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyanandana Salakya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sivisakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesa Gopeka Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrisabhanu Sutta Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhya cha Kripa Sindhubhya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It is said that the living being is by nature pleasure-seeking, anandamaya vyasat. So, because we are pleasure-seeking, therefore our faith will go wherever we think that pleasure will be found. When we think it's money, then, we believe in it because we think pleasure will be found there, happiness will be found there. If we think it is power, then maybe we'll go into politics, and because we believe that power is the source of happiness. So it is happiness that we are after, and our faith will follow wherever we think that happiness will be. So if we think that our happiness is available on the material plane, then we are ready to perform so many austerities for that purpose. We're ready to work very hard. We're ready to do many, many things, study for many, many years, which is hard work, to get the right degrees and so on, all for material benefit. The scriptures make us see that such efforts are futile. If we're trying to build a kingdom in this world, how long can one possess a kingdom? Right? How long can one enjoy it? A very short time. So much effort to be very, very rich, very successful, very powerful, and then soon too old. Too old. It was actually here in this temple that on one Sunday feast we had a Russian clown who was showing us a trick with balls. He was spinning balls, 5 of them. 2 on his fingers, he's sitting on a stool, 2 on his toes, and 1 with a stick on his nose. It was a good show, but what it had to do with Krishna consciousness, I wasn't sure. Anyway, but I remember I gave a Sunday feast lecture after that, and I do remember something of that lecture. And namely, what happened was that I started to think about the stream of opportunities. In life is an endless stream of opportunities. And you're young, you take 4 or 5 and you bounce them around and spin. That is youth. And then time moves along and one becomes more targeted. No more playing, just whenever there's a good opportunity. Take it. Okay, got it. Time moves along, we're getting a little older. Every once in a while we miss an opportunity and say, it wasn't that good anyway. And finally, there is 2 old people sitting on a bench, looking at the stream of opportunity, and they're going by, and one says to the other, that was a good one. That's about it, yes. So we can see how time is affecting our capacity to enjoy in the material world. So why so much effort? Why so much effort to obtain material enjoyment when it is asat, when it is temporary, when it doesn't remain? So much effort in the here and now, right? To have the best house, to have the best everything. And then what? First of all, not fulfilled. And second of all, it's temporary. Something material can give some pleasure. That is a fact. But it cannot give fulfillment. See, we may have so many material things and they give us pleasure, but not fulfillment. We still want more. We're still not happy. But you have all these good things. No, I like them very much, I'll keep them. But it is still not enough. I need more. Because we're not fulfilled. But when there is Krishna consciousness, then there can be fulfillment. Due to our faith in material happiness, we're ready to pay any price. And then once we pay a price, yes, then there's also attachment. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur tells us a story, and the story is that there was a man, he was walking in the Himalayan foothills, and it was a long walk. So at one point, so much walking, he was just thinking, if only I would have a horse. That would make it so much easier. Just then, as he's thinking that, he saw a horse. Think, wow, this is a divine arrangement. Yes. So he decided to buy the horse. He had to pay a good price for it, but for a divine horse, you're ready to pay. So he paid a good price. He mounted the horse and the horse didn't move. He tried any trick he could find. On the back, here, there, between the ears, pull the tail, nothing worked. That horse did not move an inch. So he got down from the horse. Then from that horse fell a foal, a young foal. Ah, my lucky day, 2 horses for the price of 1. Hey, yeah, just see. But then the small horse was too young to walk. So he had to go. He said, I can't wait for that horse to grow up. What to do now? So then he took the little horse on its shoulders and he was walking with that horse, and then the big horse was following very nicely. And in this way he was walking up the mountain. One man came and said, what are you doing? Why are you carrying this little horse up the mountain? He told the whole story. So then the other man said, why don't you just leave these horses behind? He said, no, how can I do that? I invested a lot of money. I invested a lot of money in them. No, I cannot leave them behind. I worked very hard for that money. Yes. So now I invested it. So no, now I cannot give it up. And so we buy so many things that give us so much trouble. And so, but we've invested so much money in them. No, we cannot let them go. And we buy more things that give us more trouble. And in the end, we surrounded us by all kinds of trouble. And we worked very hard for it. So, oh no, I cannot let it go. So, previously, in Vedic culture, one could see that the topmost class of men was not interested in material expansion. They were interested in scripture and they were interested in transcendental knowledge, and yet highly respected. That was Vedic culture. In Vedic culture, one was not automatically respected if one was rich. Nowadays, when you are rich, everyone bows down to you. Yes, you are rich. Yes, you are funny because you are rich also. You are everything because you are rich. Yes. Whatever you say, yes. You're always right. It's amazing. It's amazing. No, it's really amazing. How you can be always right, I don't know. Because you're rich. Yes, of course. So, like this, we are somehow or other now looking at wealth as a symbol of class. But Vedic culture is a culture where transcendental knowledge was in high esteem. Yes. Transcendental knowledge. Yes. Yeah. So, therefore the Bhagavad Gita says, Tadami Buddha Yogam Tam, that I will give you intelligence. Intelligence is not the ability to become a computer programmer or the... in India, if someone is a mechanic, the Indian word for mechanic is mystery. It's very interesting, mystery. And the mystery is the mechanic, he will fix it. So to the village people, it was a mystery, obviously. How can this man repair this car or whatever, this machine? It's a mystery, therefore the man is called mystery. It's still like that. So, in the same way, spiritual life to us also remains a mystery. But Oma Gyanati Marandasya Gyanandana Salakya Shakshura Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. It is said that it is because of the pure devotee. Because of the pure devotee, our darkened eyes are opened. So when the pure devotee reveals transcendental knowledge, then we can understand, and then through that knowledge, intelligence is given. So it may seem very intelligent if someone can fix a machine, but the real intelligence has nothing to do with that. Real intelligence is that we understand the goal of life. And that is the gift of the devotee. It is by the devotee that we understand the goal of life. Now, because we have been exposed to Srila Prabhupada, to his readings, to his writings, and so on, now it's pretty obvious for us that this material life is temporary. This material life is not the main thing in life. It is simply meant as a support. It is meant to support spiritual life. But the main energy should go towards spiritual life. Now that makes complete sense to us. But that's only because of mercy. Otherwise, not so easy. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, Prabhupada made the goal of life so very, very clear. He made it very, very clear. But for a lot of people, it's not so clear. Yes, I also in the past was searching for spiritual life. And then one day I would do Kundalini yoga. The next day some Zen meditation. And on the third day I would go to a lecture of the Sufis. And then I'd write an article on the Tibetan Book of the Death. Of that. And it seemed all, all spiritual. Yeah? It seemed all spiritual. And it's... Who is the technician? Okay. That happens. All right, so it is by the mercy of a devotee that it becomes very clear what the goal of life is. And now we live by that knowledge. And Srila Prabhupada's books make it very, very clear. And make it very clear that everything is centered around Krishna. Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, equally so. I was earlier on today reading about the word amnaya. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur explained this word amnaya, which is a sequence of Sanskrit words that are dedicated to glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is amnaya. So many interpretations of such concepts may exist in India. But the Vaishnava Acharyas make it very clear, very, very clear. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta said, yes, this is the purpose of all the scriptures. The purpose of all the scriptures is Krishna, which we know from Bhagavad Gita. It is Sarvasya Chaham Ridi Sanivisto Matastmitir Gyanamapoanamscha Vedaisya Sarver Aham Eva Vejo Vedantakrit Vedavid Eva Chaham. Krishna says, I am the goal of all the Vedic literatures. I am the knower of all the Vedic literatures. So like this, we understand very clearly what the goal of life is. How to develop faith? Faith comes by association of those who have faith. Yes. By the association of those who have faith, we also develop faith. Otherwise, not just by our own logic. Yes, of course, Krishna consciousness is also logical. Srila Prabhupada established it very logical. Didn't just... but just logic alone is not enough. See, we need to see. We need to see actually Krishna consciousness in someone. Srila Prabhupada was repeating certain arguments, and if I repeat exactly the same arguments, the effect will be different, because he had such a deep, obvious Krishna consciousness, so much love for Krishna, which I don't have. Then, it was very clear. When he spoke those words, then everyone thought, yes, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes, must be true. When I say, some people say, well, why? So, the realization that a Vaishnava has makes a huge difference. It's not only the logic, because through logic one can never approach Krishna. Pantastu koti satavatsara sampragamyo vayoratapi manaso munipungavanam sopyasti yat prapadicintya abhicintya tattva govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. That by yoga or logic or any of those means, it is not possible to attain the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? That is not possible. That is only by mercy, if he reveals himself and if the devotee reveals him. So that is where our faith is changing. Not just by logic and argument. There's also an interesting statement in Chaitanya Charitamrita in regards to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was a great logician. So then there is a verse, and it says, Tarka Shastra Jadiyami Yaicha Loha Pinda. He said, by this logic, my mind and intelligence has become dull, and just dull like an iron bar. Yeah? It's very interesting, because we always thought that by logic you become sharp. Right? But the fact is that merely by logic, that is not enough of a foundation for faith. We have to also see it. Reason alone will not do. There also, the intuitive side of life is also there. We have to see it. We have to see it in someone's eyes. Right? We have to see it in his expression. We have to see Krishna consciousness. Then we can believe it. Otherwise, not enough. Not enough. So, faith comes from the Vaishnava. In his book, Chaitanya Siksamrita, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur deals with the topic. And he is explaining, according to the scale of bhakti, of stages of bhakti, which was given by Rupa Goswami. The scale is Ado Shraddha. First there is Shraddha, then Sadhu Sangha. So first there's faith, initial faith. Then there is association with devotees, Sadhu Sangha. From the association with devotees, you begin to practice. And follow some principles, maybe, if not before, one will become vegetarian, one will, no more gambling, no, and so on and so on. All these things, no onions, no. What? Add it? Nay, just use hing. Yes. So, in this way, we start to follow principles by the association of devotees. And as we we start to chant Hare Krishna, when we become established in that regular practice, then anartha nivriti, purification of the heart, then as that carries on, we become very firmly convinced, nistha. Yeah, in nistha, we are very convinced that Krishna consciousness is going to bring us all happiness. There is a simple story that there is a house and it had leaks in the roof. So, you know, water leaking through, especially big rain, and this summer there's been lots of rain, and all the pots and pans are always full, you know, it is a complication, right? So today is a very nice day. So today I'm going on the roof to fix the holes. Okay, yeah, I'm up there, got my hammer, yeah. Okay, look, aha, here is a hole, yes, yes, yes. Put a patch over the hole, another one, okay, oh, sliding down the roof. Wow, last minute, managed to grab the edge of the roof. Whew. Oh, that was close. But I'm saved, yay. Okay, I'll just pull myself up on the roof. Too much Mahaprasadam. I can't pull myself up on the roof. What will I do now? I'm hanging here, oh God, please save me. Need any help? Who are you? I am God. Oh God, please save me. All right, just let go of the roof and I will catch you. Can't you catch me first? And then I'll let go of the roof? You see? So this is kanista, weak faith, weak faith. The materialistic devotee in the beginning is betting on two horses, spiritual horse and the material horse at the same time, holding on to my material things. Hey, these things, I know. They don't bring you ultimate happiness. I know that. No, I know it. But they bring you temporary happiness. I know. Temporary happiness is not everything, but, you know, better than nothing. Keep all these things for temporary enjoyment, keep them here. And then at the same time, I do some Krishna consciousness. Govindam Adipurusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yes, I do all these things, and then, temporary enjoyment. Click, watch a movie, play a game of, yeah. Eat in some restaurant, and eat only the vegetarian items. Yes, all kinds of things. The temporary things. Okay, so this is when we have weak faith. So yeah, that's the man on the roof. He's not ready to put his full faith in Krishna. Holds on to the material things, thinking, I will not let go of these things until Krishna gives me the higher taste. When I get the higher taste, then I'll let go of the material things. No, first let go of the material things with great faith. Then the higher taste will come. This is the point. So at Nista is the point where one actually is ready to let go of the roof. Say, okay, Krishna, catch me. Yes, I trust in you. Where one puts his faith in Krishna consciousness will bring me all happiness. Krishna Bhakti Koila Sarva Karma Krita Hoy. From performing Krishna Bhakti, all Krita, all benefit will come. That faith has to be there. Yes, so that is Nista. And then after we go to advanced stages of devotional service. So, yeah, the more advanced stages of Krishna consciousness are about fully trusting in Krishna. This is where we want to come. You just say, yeah, if I will not miss out. Ho, 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 ho. No, imagine. You have all these nice material things. I mean, nice. Really nice. You give them up. Ouch. You give them up. And then you don't get Krishna consciousness. Then what will happen? Huh? Then you have nothing. Nothing. And you'll cry forever that you gave up all these good material things, isn't it? No, we cannot do this. No, we wouldn't. So this is the difficulty. This is the difficulty. But by the association of a great devotee who is actually doing so, by that association of a great devotee who puts all his faith in Krishna, we can also develop the courage to do it. See, otherwise we would never develop the courage to do it. So we need that association of such a devotee who shows us, yes, I'm not afraid, I'm doing it. And in this way, Srila Prabhupada single-handedly, right, conquered. And yes, Prabhupada came alone to the Western world, right? And somehow or other started preaching to people who were so different language. Some couldn't even understand his accent, right? And his English was limited. It was a foreign language. And although he had education, still a foreign language is different thing. Right? If you have to give lectures in foreign language, you're like, oh, this is difficult. You know, in my own language I can say such things. But Prabhupada preached in English, preached in the Western world, to people who had no idea about anything, to people who were 50 years younger or more, and somehow or other, Prabhupada was able to be relevant to them. It was very difficult. If you have to be relevant to someone from a different country, a different culture, it's very difficult. It's just like okay, you know, when you have to explain something to someone from Japan, right? And people from Japan have a different mentality. We don't know them. We don't know how they think. You know? It's like I was one time actually giving a lecture to Chinese people in a university in England, and the whole audience was Chinese. And I was speaking, and during the lecture there was no response, nothing. See, I am used to read faces. You know, when I give a lecture, I read faces. I look at the audience and I see a smile, or I see some expressions on the face. You know, I see some people don't believe what I say, some people like what I say, some people think it's rubbish. Then I respond to it. You know, then I might say, and some people might think this is all rubbish, right? And then I will get right into that. So looking at the faces kind of directs the lecture. There was nothing, no expression on the faces, nothing. So it felt like, whew, after half an hour I was exhausted. I gave that lecture, I was very exhausted. I got no response, nothing. And then I ended the lecture, and then they had questions. As if they had been taking notes. They did not take any notes. Yeah? But they went like, you said, repeat verbatim what I said. And I said, why and how and what did you mean? And it's like a different kind of mindset, you know? It's like, so, but Prabhupada never looked like that. Prabhupada never thought he came from India, from Bengal, from another time, to all these young people in America. He never thought, how can I relate to these people? Prabhupada could completely relate to them because Prabhupada knew they are eternal living beings. And they're eternal spirit souls, and they are by nature devotees of Krishna. And so Prabhupada dealt with everyone like that and was convinced that it was like that. And people began to understand, yes, actually, it is like that. So, in the Nectar of Devotion, it is then explained that when a devotee is at very advanced stage of Krishna Prem or Bhava, ecstatic stages of Krishna consciousness, that such a person can lend his ecstasy to others. And then in his presence, everyone feels inspired. When he's there, everyone feels very Krishna conscious. Then everyone says, yes, this makes complete sense. Yes, definitely. Jarur. Absolutely. But, ji. Hanji, ji. Bilkul. Like that. Pakka. But, yeah. Then when we are no longer in the association of that devotee, then our Krishna consciousness goes down. Yeah. So in this way we're always looking for devotees to inspire us. But then it says in the Nectar of Devotion that we are borrowing from the ecstasy of the person. This is called Chaya Bhav. We get the shadow reflection of the Krishna consciousness of the advanced devotee. Yeah? So we also get some sense. We feel more advanced. Yeah? And it says, but if we get prolonged association, then that may become permanent. Yeah? So this is very important. Therefore, we do depend on a spiritual master. We do depend on the spiritual masters, right? Today is the disappearance day of Srila Rupa Goswami. And of course, we are all Rupanugas. We are all following the teachings of Rupa Goswami. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is our inspiration, right? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself, who comes in the most merciful form. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu didn't write any books. So the detail we don't get from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That we get from his immediate followers, such as Rupa Goswami. So Rupa Goswami gives us in great detail what he learned from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and writes it all down. And gives us a systematic process of how to cultivate bhakti. So this is essential. Essential. So the most important work of Srila Rupa Goswami is the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, which Srila Prabhupada gave us in the form of the Nectar of Devotion, in a summary study. So yes, we take our shelter there. And it is, the Nectar of Devotion is a very interesting book because it is like, it's practically speaking the handbook of Krishna consciousness. It is like, if you want to know how to practice Krishna consciousness, the Nectar of Devotion. It tells us everything. What to do, how to do it. Very systematic. But not only does it give us a systematic overview, it also gives us many examples. It gives us, for every point that is made, evidence from scripture, and it gives us the example of many great devotees. And by hearing about these great devotees, we understand how it works, you see. Because it's by the great devotees that it becomes real. So therefore, Mahajana Yena Gata Sapanta, we are following in the footsteps of the great devotees. And we're trying to find out more about the great devotees. Yeah, the great devotees from the past, the great devotees from the present, and in this way, they bring life. They bring us life to the transcendental knowledge, because otherwise, if we are alone with transcendental knowledge, yeah, it's like, I know it's true, I know it's the best, but, you know, it's like, what to do? It's like, Bhagavad Gita, yes, it's really good. It's good, but we believe in it, but we also want some enjoyment now. That is the thing. But in the association of the great devotees, immediately we are tasting something now. We get much more taste now. So that is important. So therefore we need we need to connect with the Vaishnavas. Srila Prabhupada said, if you read the works of Rupa Goswami, then you are associating with Rupa Goswami. Also, if we go to the places of Rupa Goswami, related to Rupa Goswami, then he comes more to life to us. So I decided, okay, I'm going to do that. And I went to the birthplace of Rupa Goswami, which is in Bangladesh. And because in 1947 there was the partition in India, and they cut Bengal in 2 pieces. And with that they cut the heritage of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's movement also in half. So many of the places related to our history are in Bangladesh, which is now a Muslim country. But the birthplace of Rupa Goswami is still there. There was a tree also. They said. There always is a tree. Wherever you go in India to some holy place, there always is a tree. You go, here the Bhagavad, under this tree the Bhagavad Gita was spoken. I didn't read that in the Bhagavad, I didn't read that anywhere there was a tree. There always is a tree. Ladies would give birth under trees because great personalities were always born under trees. I can see. Anyway, there is a tree as a I'm just joking, but there always is a tree. I guess as a marker, as a marker, this is the place, right? So I went to the place, Rupa Goswami's birthplace. I did embrace the tree. I did pray for the mercy of Rupa Goswami, and I remembered how Sanatana Goswami, his elder brother, both Rupa and Sanatana were instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Rupa Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu first because Sanatana was in jail. They both met, the first time they met Mahaprabhu short, together. Then Rupa Goswami went to meet Mahaprabhu for detailed instruction, and he met him first for that, and Sanatana Goswami later. So when Sanatana Goswami was instructed, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was saying to him, is there any benediction that you desire? And Sanatana Goswami said, please let all these instructions be manifest within my heart. So I remembered that when I was there in Rupa Goswami's birthplace. So I prayed, please let all the instructions of Rupa Goswami be manifest within my heart. Because that's it. Gradually we get to know more and more personalities. And it is not just history lessons, like Sanatana Goswami, Rupa Goswami, or Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You go to Mayapur, to Godrum, to the house of Bhaktivinoda Thakur. You go there onto the balcony, And you must know that there were meetings there with Jagannath Das Babaji, with Gorgasur Das Babaji, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta, and Srila Bhakti Vinod. 4 acharyas in our line. Here they are. 4. We're all meeting there together in that house. Did you know that? So, yes, we should go. We should go. In the Chaitanya Mat in Mayapur are the headquarters of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. And if you come through the gate, upstairs are his private quarters, still kept like that, the room of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. Most of the time it's closed. But one time I came, it was open. So I went in. There was nobody. And I saw the shoes of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. Did I have fun? I tell you that. That was good. Ah, yes. If you get such opportunities. That is we need that dust. We need to go hunt for it. We need to go look for it. We need to go and get that mercy. Get that mercy, somehow or other. We need to connect. We need to connect with Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. We need to connect with Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. We need to connect with Srila Gorgasur Das Babaji. We need to connect with Srila Jagannath Das Babaji. You know that Srila Jagannath Das Babaji would do 72-hour-long Ekadasis. He would just chant japa for 72 hours. No eating, no sleeping, Ekadasi, 72 hours. Finished, just chant for 72 hours. Yeah, so we pray for a drop of mercy to all these personalities. And when we hear such things, when we read such things, when we go to the places where such persons have lived, then when we are looking at the picture of Srila Jagannath Das Babaji on the altar, then we look at it differently. Say, whoa, 72 hours of chanting on Ekadasi. Ho, ho, ho. We can just manage maybe 72 minutes. And that's already a lot. Yes. So, in this way, we are developing our relationship with all the Vaishnavas, with the living Vaishnavas, with the Vaishnavas who are now living in sound, yes, and by doing so, Prahlad, you know, I mean, Prahlad is close to us, right? Without Prahlad, how could we carry on? I was just reading how Prahlad had a big discussion with his father. And his father was saying that these Brahmins, you know, he said, you know, Prahlad, you are behaving like a Brahmin. You are behaving like a Brahmin. How is this possible? You have taken your birth in a powerful family. A family of asuras, Where is your power, Prahlad? Where is it? Instead, you are behaving like a powerless Brahmin, right? A weak man, right? Who just begs, you know, because he has no power. So these Brahmin animals, they are just begging. That's Hiranyakasipu speaking. Calling the Brahmanas animals. This is in the Hari Bhakti Sudadoya. I was reading it a few days ago. Interesting conversation. The mood of Hiranyakasipu. Yeah. Anyway, Prahlad was, of course, later on, Later on, Hiranyakasipu was quite aware that Prahlad had power. Because later on he said to him, where are you getting your power? From the same source where you are getting yours, Father. Vishnu. Vishnu! Right? Yes. So, Prahlad is such a role model. Such a role model. Right? Because Prahlad is fearless. I mean, really fearless. Prahlad is thrown in a pit of snakes. Now, I don't know what you think about snakes. I think one snake is already one too many, personally. When there's a snake somewhere, right, I will not be relaxed. That's for sure. I mean, I will definitely, I'll be chanting, yeah, but not relaxed. Prahlad was thrown in a pit with snakes, and he was totally absorbed in remembrance of the Supreme Lord. It didn't affect him. It didn't distract him. He was chanting not in fear, but just simply in absorption. And said, well, whatever the Lord desires, whether I live or die, that's irrelevant. Irrelevant. It's really like not a big deal, live or die, that's not the issue, you know. I mean, the issue is to just stay connected to the Supreme Lord. Here in Germany, you always have the Stau, yeah? Stau. And then when there's a Stau, you have to leave a Rettungsgasse, yeah? In the middle, so that, you know, in case something happens, that quickly, you know, the ambulance can, you know, drive in between, because it's a matter of life and death. Very serious. But Prahlad didn't take it very serious at all. He didn't worry about it. He didn't call an ambulance when he was there in the snake pit. Prahlad was fearless. So this is something. So we must know Prahlad. We must know. I was just recently in a marriage ceremony, a present for a marriage ceremony, and then there is the foot of the bride is placed on the rock, you know, so that she may be very fixed, and then the couple looks at the pole star, right, which is Dhruva Loka. They're looking at Dhruva, you know, who is fixed, completely fixed. Yes. So just by meditating on Dhruva, we become a little more fixed, a little bit more. So let us turn to the Vaishnavas. The Vaishnavas who are here now and the previous Vaishnavas. All of their mercy is with us. And it is by the prayers of all these Vaishnavas that we received all this knowledge. Yeah. It's like Srila Prabhupada carried it. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta prepared the Siddhanta, you know. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had the broad vision. The Srila Gaurakasodas Babaji showed what it means to perform austerity. Srila Jagandas Babaji was so absorbed, I mean. And each of the acharyas, right, gave their blessings, and Prabhupada carried all these blessings. Take. And now that we are receiving these blessings, now we can also go and follow in the footsteps of the great devotees. Then we can do it. But if it's just philosophy, just logic, we know better, but what to do? It's too good. I can't give it up. Too good. Hanging on my roof. Can't you catch me first? Yes. So any questions, any comments? Yes, please.
How can one be sure that Krishna is ultimately trustworthy, or how can one understand that Krishna is completely trustworthy?
1 second, drink a little water on that one. Reminds me of Nietzsche and the Antichrist, you know, like God was worshipped in the heavens by the angels. And it was good, and the angels were completely happy. And why would they not be? God gave them everything. Then God had a brilliant idea. Then he said he would make another creature, human beings. And he said these human beings, right, he would give them a very short life. And in this very short life, he would fill their hearts with desires for enjoyment, but give them very little opportunity to enjoy. And then the few things that they could enjoy, he would make them give it up in the name of religion. And God was looking down, and it was good. It was really good. And then, finally, he let two suns collide with each other, and the whole universe ceased to exist. And God said to himself, I'll have this performed again. So this is an image of a God who is like a bored emperor, you know? He's the emperor of everything, and he sits there on his throne, and it's just like, oh gosh, it's boring stiff. You know these rich people who like to throw some crystals down from the chandelier and let them smash on the ground? Oh, I like the sound. Yeah, that kind of God. No. If you look carefully, I guess we can only be sure about Krishna when we try to discover who Krishna is. And so let us see, how is Krishna acting? What is Krishna doing? And the more we are exploring Krishna's qualities and actions, the more we can see that Krishna's purpose is love and to increase love. Krishna is engaging in loving exchanges and is trying to bring out more love out of the hearts of all living beings. And he is doing that in different ways and so on. So one can only know for sure that Krishna, that God, is all good by exploring what his qualities are. So let us read about Krishna and about his activities, his qualities, the way that he deals, and gradually we can start to see that he's consistently benedicting everyone. Even the demons who are killed by him are getting eternal liberation. Putana, Putana. Killing children is my game. Put some poison. Baby, baby, come, beautiful. Put the poison. Right? And Krishna sucks the poison. He also sucks her milk. And he also sucks out the life air. Bye-bye, Putana. But meanwhile, Putana, right, who died in that exercise, attains an eternal position in the spiritual world as as a mother of Krishna, like a nurse who is assisting Mother Yasoda, and because she gave milk. So Krishna has overlooked the poison, has overlooked that she tried to kill him. He said, okay, she gave me milk, therefore she will be eternally my mother, assisting my Mother Yasoda. See how kind Krishna is. Yeah. So like that. Kaliya killed all Krishna's friends. Now, okay, Krishna revived them because he's God after all. So that was not a major problem. But still, the cowherd boys were kind of shocked that day. They had all been killed. So it was intense. Then Krishna goes into the Yamuna. Next moment, Kaliya tries to strangle Krishna. The cowherd boys almost died for the second time that day. Then, finally, Krishna dances on the hoods of Kaliya and so on. Then there is that snake, And just when Kaliya is about to die, then his wives come, teary eyes, and start praying and say, please don't kill our husband. So what could Krishna do? Nothing. Okay, I'll let him live. And then Krishna deals in a very gentle way, in a very thoughtful way, in a noble way, and tells him, my dear king of the snakes, I know you came from a kingdom, you left it because of Garuda, now you have my footprints on your head, you are safe, you can now go and return to your position as a king. Krishna treats him with respect. So this is what we see in Krishna. Krishna benedicts everyone. Whoever gets in touch with Krishna is benedicted. So Putana became a mother. Then Krishna took the position of the cowherd boys and the calves. When Lord Brahma stole the real calves and cowherd boys, Krishna took the position of the calves and cowherd boys. When Krishna took the position of the calves and cowherd boys, because it was on a different time scale, it was for Lord Brahma, a moment is a year of time on earth. So for 1 year, Krishna was taking the form of the calves and the cowherd boys. And all those cows that looked after those calves, they also became Krishna's mothers in the spiritual world. Because they also gave milk. But more intimate mothers than Putana. They were more closely serving Krishna. So, Krishna's purpose is to increase love eternally. And this is the real fun. What else is there? What else is there? So that's what Krishna is doing. Therefore, the more we explore, the more we see how Krishna is not only all good, but how he is wonderful. He is all wonderful. Therefore, he is Krishna, the all-attractive. Yeah.
You have a question, Maharaja? Thank you very much for taking us to a tour of so many Delhi jewels. One question in connection to the purport where there is a reference about demigods. Recently I was asked by a Prabhu who is here, Rishabh Prabhu, who asked, we have this, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, we are following in the footsteps of servant of the servant of the servant spirit. Demigods are the servants of the Lord.
Yeah.
Should we worship also the demigods? Correct?
No problem, yes. The demigods, the devas, are also devotees of the Lord. They are the agents of the Lord. However, they are mixed. They are mixed in their bhakti. They also have material desires to enjoy. So in that way, the demigods are not the most advanced Vaishnavas. But the demigods have great punya, and therefore they have bodies that are, and positions that are much more powerful than we have. So we respect them. Worship, that we reserve for the pure Vaishnavas. We only worship the pure Vaishnavas, and we respect all others. So the devatas we respect, but worship we reserve for Krishna and Vishnu. And that's as simple as it is. So we can pay our obeisances to the devatas, but prasad we will not take. That we take from Krishna. Right? We will not put the devatas on our altar, because if we do so, we will divide our faith. For this I approach Krishna, and for that I approach Ganesh. I don't want to bother Krishna. I just go to Ganesh. No. Just for everything, turn to Krishna. Kechit kevalaya bhaktya vasudev prayana, says Bhagavatam. Only engaged in activities of bhakti, fully absorbed in serving Vasudev. Mat anya devas rayanai, says Narottam Das Thakur. Do not worship other devatas. So like this, we respect the devatas. But the pure devotees, they are the direct representatives of Krishna. And they are only pointing at Krishna. And that's what we see in Srila Prabhupada. He only points at Krishna. Yeah? Prabhupada is always the representative of Krishna. There's no personal agenda. So we turn only to Krishna and his pure devotees. Yes?
Connecting to the same question, when you said Devtas are not pure Vaishnavas, but at certain extent one of the Devtas, like we say Mahadev, Shivji, he is considered sometimes.
He is.
I didn't read.
Brahma and Shiv ji are counted as pure Vaishnavas. Yes, we are in the Brahma Sampradaya, and Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu, yes, is also there. Yes, so. But that doesn't mean we're worshipping him as a Vaishnava, not separate, as a god. So we're not going to separately pray to Shiva now as a god, but we're worshipping as a Vaishnava. So we're looking at the Shiva who's meditating under the banyan tree on the feet of Krishna. But we're not praying to the Shiva who's so powerful, he can give us all kinds of benedictions, and who's easily pleased, Asutosh. No. And if we ask for any benediction, we ask only, please give me pure devotional service to Krishna's lotus feet. Yeah. So like that, we're worshipping as the devotee, not as the powerful Lord Shiva. But it easily gets mixed up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why we just offer our respects and are not separately worshipping Lord Shiva. But as a devotee is possible, but easily gets mixed up.
How much of a free will do we really have?
How much of the tasyaiva heta prayate ko vido talapyate yad brahmatam uparyada. Srila Prabhupada took that verse and said that in this universe we're going upwards and downwards according to our karma. So in that sense, karma is always determining the amount of happiness and distress that we will experience. So in that way we don't have free will, but we have the free will to decide whether we will take up devotional service or not. Now, I give the example of the suitcase, like how once upon a time, a long, long time ago, suitcases had no wheels. Can you believe it? And people used to carry suitcases in their hands. Listen to this, young man. Now, really? You think I'm telling stories? Once there was a time when suitcases had no wheels. People used to carry them in the hand, and then the fingers were like all bent. Then they put it in the other hand, and then they put him on the shoulder, on the head, on the back. I've even seen people dragging the suitcase on the ground. Right? So, karma is in a way, we can move the suitcase. Like when it rains on this side of the street and it's dry on the other side of the street, I can cross the street. Yeah? So it feels like I have my destiny in my hands. I can reposition myself constantly in the material world. But the amount of happiness and distress that I get, that will not change. I experienced it also, that I was in Holland, right, in Amsterdam, and it's, Köln is very close to Amsterdam, so the weather in Köln must be similar to Amsterdam. Rain, lots of. So it's like cold and rainy. So I was walking on the street. Everyone has pale faces and red noses. And I'm walking on the street in the rain. And then I walked past this shop, and it showed a big poster of a beach with a blue ocean and palm trees. And next moment I was inside, and I had just bought a ticket to Mombasa. Mombasa, here I come. I went to Mombasa on the plane. Oh yes, I went to Mombasa. And there they had coconut. Oh yes, so many coconut. It was just beautiful. Blue ocean and coconut. Oh yes, it was so good in Mombasa. And I came there, and it was a bit hot. So I sat down on the beach under a palm tree. I'm sitting under the palm tree, and suddenly, plop, plop, scorpion. Whoa, a scorpion, a real one. So, well, I got a story to tell at home, eh? I fought off the scorpion. Anyway, then again, plop, another scorpion. I mean, this tree is full with scorpions. Okay. So I decided to move. I said, well, no problem, I'll go for a swim. So then I go towards the ocean. One local man comes and said, you cannot swim. I says, yes, I can. I'm from Holland, I mean, we can swim, right? He says, no, you cannot swim, because right now it's a high tide, and at a high tide the sharks come over the reef. You'll have to wait till it's low tide. I said, oh, I see. So I was sitting on the beach in the hot sun, under my towel over my head, suffering. And whereas in Amsterdam, there was a drop hanging on my nose from the rain, there a drop was hanging on my nose from the sweat. So you can see, I moved the suitcase of the karma to the other hand by flying to Mombasa and having coconut. Yes, but the karma followed me. I was destined to suffer. I still suffered. But we always have the chance to take up devotional service. And then our karma changes, and then our destiny can change, and then anything can happen. That's what it's about. We can change our destiny by devotional service. It's our only hope. And you can change the destiny of your family members also. Even the ones who've already died. And even the ones who are still alive. You can change their destiny also. Yes, sir.
Isn't even the decision to take up devotional service or to give yourself to God or to practice spiritually, isn't that also part of the karma of the unfolding of the universe?
Is that decision of taking up devotional service, is that also part of the karma? No, karma can help us maybe. You know, if you have some piety, you have done good works in a previous life. Not purely spiritual, but just acts of compassion, acts of kindness, and so on. So you've become pious. So when we're pious, it can be helpful in coming to a spiritual, coming to take up the decision from, yes, I'm going to take up spiritual life. But it's not necessarily so. It's not enough. If I behaved like a dog, like a rat, you know, I've ripped everybody off, I've exploited everyone, then it will be a little more difficult to take up devotional life. Yeah. So piety certainly is helpful. Karma is helpful. Good karma is helpful. But not automatic. Some have good karma and then after some time it runs out and they come back down. And they won't take up spiritual life. So spiritual life, it must be offered to us by mercy, by a devotee. And then we have the choice to take it or leave it. And that choice we have. Take it or leave it. That choice we have. Krishna's given us that choice. Just so that we serve him out of free will. Because Krishna wants love. And love must have free will. Otherwise it's slavery. See? We serve Krishna eternally, otherwise it would be slavery. So there has to be a choice. Otherwise, how would it be love? Then it's just, you have to serve God forever. Well, I don't want to. Dante, you know. Better a king in hell than a servant in heaven. The Divine Comedy. Yeah, the two. Yeah, you first, and then. Mm-hmm.
Sorry. I have a question related to Maharaj, what you said before.
But it has to be loud because otherwise I hear nothing.
Sorry. When you said that, giving an example of
Hanging on the roof.
Hanging on the roof, and then you connected with the topic that we are always clinging to some temporary happiness. So what is the instruction, especially for the Grihastha ashram, like people who tend to save and then maybe invest and for future or whatsoever? So do you think that is also we are clinging to temporary happiness, because mostly in Grihastha ashram people are trying to save for future and investing and buying insurances? So is that, or should we have full faith in Krishna, don't save, don't invest, thinking that Krishna will always take care and fully devote and put everything in what do you call it, for devotion?
Okay. It started with a desire for temporary enjoyment. Right? One doesn't enter into the Grihastha ashram just simply because one wants to be a pure devotee of Krishna. Okay? One enters into the Grihastha ashram because one wants some temporary enjoyment. Then come so many temporary duties along with that. To have savings, to have security, to have a house, to have a pension, to have, a fund for your children's education, to have a few cars, to, to take them all. Yes, that comes with it. But it started with the original choice of wanting some enjoyment. Right? We didn't just enter the Grihastha ashram. I've also been in the Grihastha ashram for 24 years. Yes, so we didn't start because we wanted to be pure devotees. We started because we wanted some enjoyment. And the rest, these duties, they come.
So it's okay to do that.
Yeah, now you have to do it. Not only okay, you have to. You have to. You must. Even when you don't feel like it, you're obliged. And now that you entered the Grihastha ashram, you can't just walk away from it either. Now you have to take care and make sure that they're all becoming devotees. The only way you're going to purify all of that is by trying very hard to make all the family members devotees. All of them. Good luck.
We need blessings of.
Ask Maharaj, he sits right next to you.
I said you need blessings of pure devotees like you.
Sitting right next to you. Yeah, no, you. Yeah. Yeah, but you have to be strong. See, we can also walk around from we need blessings, we need blessings, we need blessings. Yeah, you need blessings. But meanwhile, you have to be strong. Yeah? Because you want it to be a grihastha. You have to be as good as a spiritual master if you want to be a family man. The biggest problem nowadays is that mostly the men are weak. And if the man would and if the man would be spiritually strong, right?
They don't feed us properly, so we don't eat.
I see. No, spiritually. If the man, Sudama is saying weak, physically weak. Now that's just joking. But the men have to be spiritually strong, as good as spiritual masters. So that's the tall order on your head. You wanted blessings, here they are. Now you have to walk the path of pure devotional service. Then your family will be inspired by you. That's your job. Because it's very hard to inspire family members. Nietzsche Manjari has a question.
I was wondering, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they give out the mercy for free. Everybody can take the mercy in this golden age. Why is it so difficult for many people to take it? I mean, we Western devotees were mostly born in lecture families, but some of us took it, but so many others don't take it. They also hear the Harinam or they even come to the temple, but I see so many people, they come to the temple, but they cannot really take it. Why is that?
In Satya Yuga, the many pious souls go back to Godhead. The ones who don't, they eventually take birth in Treta Yuga. Still, some are going back, many still don't go back. And the leftovers take their birth in Dwapara Yuga, and some go back. Then there are some that are still left over. They take their birth in Kali Yuga. So, Kali Yuga is an age, I call it a school for children with learners' difficulties. Okay? That's Kali Yuga. So here we are in this difficult situation. We are very weak, we just don't learn. And it's very difficult for us in this age. So don't be so surprised when people don't come so quickly. But at the same time, this knowledge is widely available in society. Srila Prabhupada pointed out the distribution of his books, right, was the main tool to bring about that revolution. So many books went out, more are going. They're there, people are reading them, the knowledge is being assimilated into society. People may not surrender, but little by little they get influenced, yes? Then it's just a matter of time for the big sense gratification world to collapse. which is already maybe collapsing. A lot has collapsed in the last year and a half, as far as I'm concerned. Right? A lot has collapsed. So as things are collapsing, more people will be ready. They will be ready. So, and things will collapse more and more. People will come. And Prabhupada said, one day people will come by the thousands. Will we be ready to guide them? Are you ready to take care of 1,000 people? Good.
She just decided to go to Bulgaria. Because she has nothing to do.
Look at this guy.
They're not coming yet for tournaments.
Okay. Okay. Anyway.
No, they're coming always back. This is one of their states.
Yeah.
They stayed already 5 months in already.
Yeah. They move a lot slower than I do. So, yeah. Okay. I have been of two minds about staying tomorrow morning, but finally I've decided to go on to Berlin in the morning. I won't give class tomorrow morning because I always over endeavor. That is my my mistake in my life. I always try to do more than I should, you know. And I have a Zoom tomorrow night, and I'm driving to Berlin. And if I give class here, it will all become too tight. So this was my visit for this time. It's been a long time since I was in Köln. I know. What to do? It's been crazy times, but I hope to come again and again and see you all again. And very nice to be here in your nice temple and in the association of Bhakti Bhushan Maharaj. Thank you, Maharaj.
Maharaj ki jai. Bhakti Bhushan Maharaj ki jai.